Okay, I'm back again, continuing my series on demonic influence. This is part 6, if I counted right. Yep, part 6. In this video, I'm going to go over hateful people. People who act hateful all the time. People who are hateful. Now, it is one thing to get into, not to have moments where you're in a bad mood. But it's another thing when it becomes, well, for lack of a better word, the norm. When it becomes, when it lingers on, when it almost becomes bitterness. So, oftentimes, people who are hateful, well, the way people treat you reflects how they feel about themselves. So a lot of times they may have had a few attacks, and since they don't realize it, or maybe they're not saved, or whether or not they are saved, some Christians might not even recognize attacks. Unfortunately, demonic attacks, especially of the mind. In my last video, I go over how it can also affect mental health, and I believe I even addressed how demonic attacks in earlier videos can even cause, well, for lack of a better term, bad luck, or the same type of thing that Job went through in the book of Job. If you read the first couple of chapters in the book of Job, it is clear that Satan caused all that stuff that Job went through. So, and I'm trying to think of what would be a very appropriate name for that type of attack. Trying to decide between calamity, chaos, bad luck, for lack of a better term, because that's what it feels. It feels like you're having bad luck. So when people they've been through some bad luck, they've been through some rough times. It could be an attack, and then as a result of that attack, they could have some bitterness inside, and as a result of that bitterness, they could become angry and act hateful towards other people. So them acting hateful is actually a sign of their pain. So people who are hateful, who act hateful, are in pain. They're under attack. They've had stuff that's happened to them, or maybe some bitterness got a hold of them and became a stronghold in their life. Anger, disappointment, resentment, whatever the case may be, and they became what people might describe as hateful. Those type of people are under somewhat of a demonic influence, because if a demonic spirit is influencing your mood and your behavior, then it is a type of influence. It is a type of demonic oppression. There is a difference between possession and oppression. Oppression is of the mind and emotions, whereas possession is of your body. So, and I guess some people can be possessed and oppressed, but that's for another video. Anyways, this video is going to focus on demonic oppression, demonic attacks, and so people who, like I said, and hateful people. So you have people they've had stuff happen to them. It's not just that they've had a bad day, and some people could be, and sometimes even the enemy can cause people to have a bad day by reaching for circumstances and getting somebody angry enough to just happen to snap at a Christian and maybe you say something discouraging or even hurtful to somebody else, a close friend. Because demonic spirits can affect mental health. So, yeah. Well, I was expecting this video to be longer than this. Yeah. Guess I do have time to film another video, which is excellent because I am sort of behind. So, basically, like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but I want to emphasize this. It's something that we need to get. When somebody is hateful towards you, you don't know what they've been through. You don't know if they've had a bad day, or if it's a result in some kind of emotional wound or emotional pain. They've been through something and it's made them bitter because they're holding on to the pain, and it's become a stronghold. It's become a type of bondage in their life. You don't know what they've been through. And even and I would even apply this to even people who act like Karens, where society has labeled as Karens. You don't know what those people have been through. And something else too, entitled people, people who are entitled, they don't have any self-confidence. Because how do you build self-confidence? You build self-confidence by achievements, by setting goals and reaching goals, by you cannot build self-confidence if everything is handed to you real easy. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to do anything to earn it. You have to win. You have to struggle for it. You have to earn it. If everything is handed to you, you do not gain self-confidence. You get used to having things your way. You never get a chance to build any self-confidence. So people who are entitled, they don't have any self-confidence. So, hateful. So you don't know what hateful people have been through. A lot of times, anger and the hatred, especially hatred, especially if it's deep. A lot of times, anger and even bitterness is a result of some kind of emotional wound. So, yeah. And these people have been attacked, and it's become a stronghold in their life as a result of a demonic spirit. Spiritual attacks can include the three biggest areas of spiritual attacks or demonic attacks, and they are not paranormal. They don't look paranormal. You wouldn't recognize it if it was happening to you. And I mentioned one of them already, the calamity or circumstantial or chaos, whatever you want to call that. You see that demonstrated in the book of Job. And also, mental attacks. You see that demonstrated in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 3 through 4. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep, I got the reference right. And that's mental attacks. But that's where it's mentioned. I mean, it's not like named word by word. It's not more or less described. I mean, it can refer to something as a... Talk about the enemies planting, the devil planting thoughts in your mind. Seeds, imagination. The word, some translations say arguments, some translations say imaginations. Now, arguments can also be a reasoning process or a thought process. It is not just like a verbal fight, like a fight with words, like having a argument with somebody, or it is not. Also, it has nothing to do with debating your point and trying to prove your point. It is a thought process in your in your mind. I think imagination would be a better translation. Would work better the way the imagination would fit better and have people realize like what it's talking about better. Now, emotional attacks, which is the third one, we see that demonstrated in Ephesians chapter 6, verse, I think, 16? Either 16 or 17, where it talks about the fiery darts of the enemy. The fiery darts of the enemy are emotional attacks. We can look up what the word dart means. And even what the word fiery means. The word dart can also refer to, an intense pang of emotion. Not just a little, like a dartboard, and you're playing a game with darts, like that kind of thing, or like something that looks like a tiny arrow. It's not just that. So we know that the enemy can plant thoughts in your mind, and the demonic space can plant thoughts in your mind, and emotions, and cause them to become strongholds. It can cause you to have a bad day, bad luck. A really, really bad day. They can create chaos and calamity. They can cause premature death of a loved one, or even your favorite pet, or someone you care about. So, and when someone's been through that, that person can become bitter. And when they become bitter, then that's when their negative emotions become a stronghold. All that anger, the emotional wounds. That is when that has become a stronghold. And I probably rambled on for 5 minutes, 6 minutes after the video should have ended. So, yeah. By the way, I usually wear a red sweat outfit to honor the blood of Jesus, but he was in desperate need of being washed. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it for this video. Bye.